Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pavoni.
Here.
Ms. Perez.
Here.
Mr. McGurven.
Here.
Ms. Witchy. Mr. Person.
Here.
Mr. Prince.
Here.
Mr. Corman.
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, one absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move that we excuse the absent council member.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council excuse Councilmember Witchy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. So, first thing on the agenda, as you might guess, is a special presentation. So, Chief Milosevic, I guess you'd be first, huh? Or okay, all right. So, Chief Marshal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. This evening, I've got the privilege of recognizing the actions of 3 police officers that were involved in a medical emergency that the Renton Regional Fire Authority responded to back in August. And at the onset, I do want to say that one of our commitments when we became a regional fire authority was that we were absolutely going to be Renton's fire department, and that was not going to change. And as a part of that, it has been very critical for us to maintain positive working relationships with every department within the city. And for us, one of the absolute most important is the police department because it's in regard to our public's and our community's safety. And there's no question that we can't deliver the highest level of service that our community deserves and demands of us without working together. So in that regard, any opportunity that I can take to recognize what I look at as great teamwork is an opportunity that I'm going to take. So I think it's best if you allow me to read the words of a couple of our members. First of all would be Nathan Blakesley, who was the one that kind of initiated this from our end. And he said that station crews felt it was necessary to express our gratitude for the actions taken by 3 Renton police officers on August 21st, 2017. At approximately 13:30 hours or 1:30 in the afternoon, Engine 12 and Aid 12, those are our 2 units up in the Highlands, were dispatched to a CPR near the 2100 block of Whitman Avenue Northeast. On arrival, the Aid 12 crew found Officer Matt Nugent performing chest compressions on a 72-year-old male, and he was doing them, just doing an awesome job. Also, Officer Randy Jensen brought in his AED to the patient's side and was about ready to apply it to the patient's chest when the aid crew came through and hooked up our machine. Both officers also helped to locate the victim and ensure access to emergency services into the backyard. And then next was Police Officer Adele O'Rourke, who was the 3rd on scene, and she assisted her crew members by gathering important information. And it was because of her detailed notes that she took that they were able to provide us with accurate and relevant medical history to the arriving paramedics. She also stayed by the patient's wife the entire time and comforted her until more assistance could get there. Nate goes on to say it was very clear that the overall incidence profile was greatly improved due to the quick actions from these 3 Renton police officers. I am happy to share that their actions magnify our department's core value of professionalism in pursuing every opportunity to deliver the best possible service to our community. My hope is for their actions and professionalism demonstrated daily, demonstrated on August 21st, not go unnoticed. So and he finally says, it is with much ongoing support by the Renton Police Department and King County paramedics that allow us, the Renton Regional Fire Authority, to shape Renton into a healthier and stronger community. And then that was followed by his battalion chief, who sent this. He said, an item that you should be aware of is that the gentleman who had the cardiac arrest, his wife was actually a retired nurse who started the compressions. Then he was relieved by the police officers and finally finished up with engine 12 and 812 that did 1 round of CPR and then delivered a countershock with a defibrillator. And the gentleman regained a pulse and had a heart rate of 120 and a blood pressure of 110/68, which is better than mine most days. And also some of the other things we look for, the patient was actually, they intubated the patient, it was standard operating procedure, but the patient was fighting the tube and didn't need any other cardiac arrhythmia medication. So while we don't know the exact outcome of this patient, all of those things basically illustrate to us that this was a remarkable effort on everybody's part and giving this gentleman the highest chance of survival. So with that, I would like to recognize the 3 officers I mentioned, if they wouldn't mind coming up, please. So Matt, for your work on August 21st, thank you very much on behalf of Renton Regional Fire. And Randy, for you as well, thank you very much. And Adele, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So again, it is an honor to recognize these guys, and every day they're out there. We get all the good comments. They not so much, and so for them to go, and the other thing I just want to let everyone know is we have got a phenomenal tiered response system that starts with our police officers out in the community, that goes to our firefighters that are at the fire stations, the paramedics that are set apart regionally, to give every one of our citizens the best possible chance. But it is absolutely a team effort, and it is not a police fire thing at all. We're just honored to have you guys out there every day protecting us and protecting our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chief Marshal. That's a great presentation.
Because of Matt Nugent's actions on that day, he's going to be awarded the department's life-saving medal. So, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Law, Council President Pavoni, Renton Council members, and viewing audience. Thank you for this opportunity this evening to recognize several of our officers. We'll be recognizing 3 officers on 2 different incidents this past year for their life-saving efforts. Law enforcement officers are faced with a unique challenge for responding to incidents that require the integration of both tactical skills and medical triage. Examples of such incidents include scenes of violence, officer-involved shootings, and serious traffic accidents, which can result in multiple subjects being injured. In scenarios such as this, medical personnel might not be able to immediately respond to assist the victims in need of care due to ongoing activity. In cases such as this, the best chance for victims have to survive is for police officers who are on scene to have the training in assessing injuries and have the ability to treat serious wounds. For several years, the department has went beyond the normal first aid training to include training in the assessment of victims' injuries to prioritize first aid. This training is called Tactical Emergency Casual Care. Tonight, I'm recognizing 3 officers who provided life-saving efforts during 2 different occasions this past year. Each officer will be awarded the department's life-saving medal. So if I could have Officer Scott Bauer come forward. On July 7, 2017, at approximately 12:24 a.m., Officer Bauer was one of several officers responding to a subject reporting to 911 that he had been shot. Officer Bauer arrived on scene, assessed the needs of the victim, who had multiple gunshot wounds. Officer Bauer determined that due to the seriousness of the injuries, If not immediately treated, the victim may not survive. Officer Bauer applied tourniquets to the victim's upper right thigh and upper right arm. According to personnel from Medic 1, the quick assessment and action taken by Officer Bauer controlled the bleeding and stabilized the patient. Officer Bauer's ability to assess the medical situation and his willingness to intervene and take necessary action likely saved the victim from serious injury or potential death. And for these reasons, I'm pleased to award Officer Bauer the Renton Police Department's life-saving medal. Congratulations.
Chief, can we get the two of you to face so she can get a picture? That'd be great. Thanks. Congratulations.
Now, if I could have Officer Jesse Blanco and Officer Corey Jacobs come forward. On September 4th, 2017, at approximately 12:08 a.m., officers responded to the area of Kazi's Hookah Bar on Airport Way for what was reported as multiple sounds of gunshots, in excess of 30 rounds. While en route to the scene, Valley Communications updated the officers by reporting that there were possibly multiple suspects inside the business armed with firearms. Officers arrived on scene and were in the process of tactically approaching the scene. While clearing the parking lot, Officers Blanco and Jacobs found a victim who had suffered multiple gunshot wounds. While other officers provided cover of a still hostile scene, Officers Blanco and Jacobs triaged the victim, identifying wounds to his legs and buttocks. A tourniquet was quickly applied to the leg injury, stopping the worst bleeding, and direct pressure was applied to other wounds until a fire department could respond. The actions of Officers Blanco and Jacobs kept the victim calm and stable until the scene was stabilized and medical could respond. Both officers understood the urgency of the situation and their ability to intercede to take necessary action under a still chaotic scene likely saved the life of this victim. For these reasons, I am pleased to award Officers Blanco and Jacobs the Renton Police Department's life-saving medal. Congratulations. That ends tonight's presentation, and we'll be having a reception next door. And I believe they wanted a group photo.
Okay, we'll do that. In fact, we didn't get one with Matt, so that'd be good to bring everybody up front.
Council, stand up back
Yeah.
here.
Come on, Corey, come up front.
It won't bite.
Tell the old guy.
Yeah.
I am gonna be the only woman in this photo.
No, you're not.
Who is? No, yes, I can see her. Everybody can just hold your award like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Did you guys want to?
Guys want to recess? Go over there?
Power through and.
Okay. Congratulations to all our officers. We really appreciate the great work you're doing. Thanks, Chief. And Chief Marshall. Okay, we're going to buzz through the agenda here, and then you can go across for some cake and punch. Next item on the agenda is the administrative report. Mr. Covington.
I have no new items to report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Audience comments, we have one person signed up to address the council. When I call your name, please come to the podium, give your name and city of residence for the record, and you have 5 minutes. Kim Allen.
Thank you for the technical assistance. I blew it with the Planning Commission last week, so I asked for special help. Good evening, Mayor Law and council members. My name is Kimberly Allen. I'm a member of the Wireless Policy Group representing Verizon Wireless. My business address is in Seattle, Washington. I'm here tonight to recognize and acknowledge a collaborative effort between planning staff and the wireless industry to develop a code update for a new technology known as small cell. This matter is scheduled to come before you at your January 8th meeting. As you can see, well, what the photo will show you is that unlike the classic towers and monopoles, these facilities involve two small 2-foot antennas that are attached to existing utility poles or light standards, along with 2 or 3 small radios on the pole or in the base. These small cells work with towers to relieve the severe congestion on the existing network due to the enormous increased demand for data. With their minimal visual impact, they are an excellent way to bring additional capacity to residential neighborhoods, and commercial areas. Small cells will also support the deployment of 5G when it soon arrives. I've brought for you a fact sheet with resources that outline why we need small cells. With more people doing more things on more devices in more places, especially in a place that's growing as rapidly as Renton, this is the industry's response to exploding consumer demand. Thank you. This is actually a photograph taken in Ballard recently. It's on Ballard Avenue down by the Ballard Market. And the pole to the right of the photograph hosts 2 small cell antennas with 2 radios on the pole. This is an actual Verizon deployment that you can actually take a look at and go see. Small cells have demonstrable benefits to cities like Renton because people who live and work here expect reliable and strong wireless service always. Businesses depend on wireless connections, and cities throughout the region are examining smart cities initiatives to streamline their own processes and operate more efficiently. This technology facilitates telecommuting, connected homes, first responders who use these networks, 911 calls, and the use of wireless medical devices such as insulin pumps. Cities throughout the region are adopting code updates for small cells as we speak, and cities that have made the process streamlined and expedited are even now receiving this investment in their communities. We are working with staff to iron out the last few details to make sure that the aesthetic concerns of your community are addressed and that a workable permitting process is adopted. We will be at your disposal, answer your questions at every step as the code goes forward. We want to thank you very much for your attention to this early look at small cells for the city of Renton. And I do have a fact sheet that Verizon.
Okay, thank you very much. I see we have members of CED here. Was there anything that anybody needed to add, or? I guess not. Okay. The other question I have, I think this is in committee, isn't it, this topic?
It was in committee last Thursday.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to consent agenda. We have 6 items for council consideration. Are there any items a council member would like pulled for discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move that the council concur with the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Pavoni, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Committee of the Whole has 1 committee report.
Okay, this committee report is regarding allocation of lodging tax funding for 2018. The Committee of the Whole recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve allocations for the 2018 Lodging Tax Fund as recommended by the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee as follows. Renton Chamber of Commerce, Operation of Tourism Organization, $100,000. Renton Chamber Northwest Tequila and Agave Festival, $10,000. Renton Chamber of Commerce Return to Renton Car Show, $5,000. City of Renton Cruise the Loop, $5,000. City of Renton Multicultural Festival, $25,500. City of Renton Community Marketing, $75,000. Renton Downtown Partnership Wine Walks, $4,000. DAWA Project Northwest Natural Show, $15,500. API Chaya and Ravishing Women's Show, $10,000. Baseball Beyond Borders, American Legion Baseball Tourn, $10,000. Northwest Premier Junior Football and Cheer All-Star Jamboree, $15,000. Total recommendation, $275,000. The committee further recommends authorization for the mayor and city clerk to execute contracts with the successful applicants to expend budgeted funds on the proposed additional marketing initiatives. And this is signed by Council President Pavoni.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move that the council concur with the Committee of the Whole committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, second by Mr. Corman, that council concur with the Committee of the Whole report. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Ms. Perez.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. McIrvin?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Utilities Committee has a couple committee reports.
Okay, the first committee report is regarding the 2017 King County Waterworks Grant Agreement. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the 2017 Waterworks Grant Agreement between King County and the City of Renton to provide $70,000 in matching funds to assist the city with design to retrofit the Heather Downs Detention Facility and approve the requested appropriation of funds to surface water utility accounts. This is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. McIrvin.
I move that the council concur with the Utilities Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McIrvin, second by Ms. Perez, that council concur with the Utilities Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The next Utilities Committee report is regarding the final design of Kennydale 320 Zone Reservoir Project. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute amendment number 3 to CAG 1631134 with Murray Smith Incorporated in the amount of $6,014,413 for the final design of the Kennydale 320 Zone Reservoir Project. And this is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. McIrvin.
I move that the council concur with the Utilities Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McIrvin, second by Ms. Perez, that council concur with the Utilities Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The final Utilities Committee report is regarding the Latecomers Agreement request. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to grant preliminary approval to the application for a Latecomers Agreement request from Bob Wenzel, Tuscany Construction LLC, petitioner, for a period of 2 years. The application for a Latecomers Agreement was submitted to recover a portion of the $103,520.04 estimated cost of sewer extension along Hoquiam Avenue Northeast, north of Northeast 5th Place, so the adjacent properties will be required to share the cost at such time that they benefit from the sewer main. The committee further recommends that council authorize the preliminary assessment roll to be forwarded to the city clerk, who will notify the affected property owners. If no protests are received after construction of the facilities and approval of the final cost, the council can authorize preparation of the final assessment roll and latecomer agreement. In the event that there is a protest for valid cause, a public hearing will be held to resolve any issues prior to proceeding with this matter. This is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. McIrvin.
I move that the council concur with the Utilities Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McIrvin, seconded by Ms. Perez, that council concur with the Utilities Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, moving on to Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just happen to have a couple reports.
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
The first Finance Committee report is regarding approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves the following payments. First, accounts payable, total payment of $11,295,702.99 for vouchers 10043 through 10047, 361357 through 361359, 361362, 361376, 361402 through 361522, 361524 through 361724, 361733 through 361739, 361753, 361784 through 361886, 361888 through 362036, payroll benefit withholding vouchers 5641 through 5642, 5651 through 5661, 5670 through 5768, and 361365 through 361375, 361523, 361740 through 361752, 361887, and 8 wire transfers. Payroll, the total payment of total payment of $2,687,493.94 for payroll vouchers, which includes 1,264 direct deposits and 71 checks, October 16th through 31st and November 1st through 15th, 2017 pay periods. And finally, Kidder Matthews, total payment of $49,774.19 for vouchers 1319 and 5505 through 5528. And this is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
this voucher run was a double voucher run, 214 pages that the Finance Committee looked at. And just give you an idea, the largest bill, one of the largest bills we paid was to King County for dump fees, which is for our garbage pickup and other stuff, was $1,415,577.55. That's, and then the lowest one that we had was $2.75 for a good-to-go pass. One of our patrol cars had to drive across the bridge and got charged. And just for those that want to know, I think the council has put its money where its mouth is when it comes to reinvesting in downtown. It cost us $6,974 to have all the water baskets downtown watered for 2 months. And then another $500 to take them down and get them ready for next year. I could go on, but that's plenty. With that, Mr. Mayor, I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding the Community Services Department reorganization. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the Community Services reorganizational changes and associated budget adjustments for 2017 and 2018. And this is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr.
I
Person.
move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding approval of 2018 Optimum/Unamerica Access Loss Agreement. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the 2018 Optum/Unamerica Access Loss Agreement, which protects the city from unforeseen high-dollar medical claims. Optum offered a low premium, minus 5.1%, for 2018 excess loss coverage for the city's self-funded medical plan, which provides coverage for claims over $250,000. And this is signed by the committee and chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding a request to overfill the Public Works Department's Water Utilities GIS engineer position. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the Public Works Department to overfill the Water Utility GIS engineer position, grade A32, step C, 1.0 FTE, for up to 2 months, December 2017 and January 2018, prior to the accepted retirement date of the incumbent of February 1st, 2018, for training and knowledge sharing purposes. And this is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding the reclassification of Administrative Secretary to Planning Technician. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the reclassification of the Administrative Secretary 1 position to a Planning Technician position. And this is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with this Finance Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding a resolution adopting Initiative 1433 by reference. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the replacement of general leave for temporary and seasonal employees with paid sick leave to comply with Washington State Initiative 1433. In 2018, the state will require a sick leave benefit for temporary and seasonal employees, which the city currently does not provide. The city has a general leave benefit for temporary employees based on hours worked over a 2-year period. This benefit will be discontinued in 2018 when the sick leave provisions are put into effect. Revisions to the city's policies and procedures addressing these benefit changes will be developed and implemented by staff as authorized in city code. The committee further recommends that the resolution regarding this matter be presented for reading and adoption.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince. The council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, we have 2 Finance Committee reports left. This one is an update to the 2018 Index of Positions and Pay Ranges. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to update the 2018 Index of Positions and Pay Ranges to reflect the changes adopted by Council throughout 2017. The committee further recommends that the ordinance regarding this matter be presented for first reading and advancement to second reading and adoption. And this is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince. The council concur with this Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, and the final Finance Committee report is regarding a professional services agreement with Vladimir Martinov, DBA, Daisy Logic, LLC. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the professional services agreement with Vladimir Martinov, DBA, Daisy Logic, LLC, to perform computer programming and consulting work on the new license and tax system Praxis. This is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince. The council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Mayor, that's plenty.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Person. Moving on to Mr. Prince.
The Planning and Development Committee, thankfully, only has 2 committee reports.
Yeah, but they're longer than mine.
Okay, the first Planning and Development Committee report is regarding illicit discharge regulation. The Planning and Development Committee concurs with the Planning Commission and staff recommendation to amend the drainage surface water standards in order to meet the requirements of the 2013 through 2018 Western Washington Phase 2 Municipal Stormwater Permit. The required code amendments include updating the definitions in RMC stormwater permit. The required code amendments include updating the definitions in RMC 4-6-100 and clarification of prohibited, allowable, and conditionally allowable discharges to be consistent with the current permit. The committee recommends that an ordinance to enact these changes be presented for first reading. And this is signed by the committee chair, vice chair, and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move that the council concur in the Planning and Development Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Corman. The council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, and the final committee report of the evening is regarding City Code Title IV Development Regulations 2017 Docket Group Number 12C. The Planning and Development Committee concurs with the staff and Planning Commission recommendation to adopt the 2017 Title IV Docket Group 12C. The Planning and Development Committee further recommends that ordinances for the items listed below be prepared and presented for first reading when they are complete. Number D-135, undergrounding, and number D-140, small cell and distributed antenna systems. And this is signed by the committee chair, member, and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move that council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. McGurven. The council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Corman?
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Moving on to legislation, we got a few things here to take care of. You
Okay.
thought you were finished, Megan?
No. So the first is a resolution This is a resolution of Renton, Washington, authorizing the replacement of general leave for temporary and seasonal employees with paid sick leave to comply with Washington State Initiative 1433.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Corman, that this resolution be adopted as read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, this ordinance is for first reading. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsection 4-6-300.j and section 4-6-100 of the Renton Municipal Code, amending illicit discharge regulations, including amending the definition for illicit connection, illicit discharge, municipal separate storm sewer system, and stormwater, and providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
So this next ordinance is going to be for first reading, and then for advancement to second and final reading. This is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, adopting the 2018 City of Renton Index of Positions and Pay Ranges for non-represented city employees, AFSCME Local 2170 city employees, Renton Police Department commissioned officers, and Renton Police Department non-commissioned officers.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move this ordinance be placed on second and final reading tonight.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Prince, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading this evening. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, I will read this again. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, adopting the 2018 City of Renton Index of Positions and Pay Ranges for non-represented city employees, AFSCME Local 2170 city employees, Renton Police Department commissioned officers, and Renton Police Department non-commissioned officers.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Requires a roll call.
Mr. Bavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McGurven?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
The ayes have it.
Okay, the first ordinance for second and final reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending sections 4-2-060, 4-2-080, 4-2-110, 4-3-040, 4-3-100, 4-4-070, 4-4-080, 4-4-130, 4-6-060, 4-7-090, 4-7-170, 4-9-030, 4-9-250, 4-11-040, 4-11-120, and 4-11-250 of the Renton Municipal Code, codifying administrative code interpretations from March 4th, 2017 to October 3rd, 2017, including amending the definitions of density, net, lot combination, lot legal, lot lines, lot measurements, lot types, lowest floor, and yard requirement, and providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be adopted as read, and it requires a roll call.
Mr. Bavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McGurven?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
The ayes have it.
Okay, the next ordinance for second and final reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending sections and subsections 4-7-020, 4-7-050.d, 4-7-080.l, 4-7-110, 4-8-070.c, 4-8-070.d, 4-8-070.h, 4-8-080.g, 4-8-120.d, .16, 4-9-060.c.6, 4-11-160, and 4-11-190 of the Renton Municipal Code by revising final plat approval procedures pursuant to Senate Bill 5674, allowing final plats resulting in the subdivision of 10 or more lots to be approved administratively and providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Requires a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McGurven?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it.
Okay, the next ordinance for second and final reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsection 4-4-080.b.1 and sections 4-10-020, 4-10-050, 4-10-060, 4-11-140, and 4-11-210 of the Renton Municipal Code, adding development regulations related to nonconforming structures and sites, and providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be adopted as read and requires a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McIrvin?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it. Only 3 more to go.
Okay, so this ordinance for second and final reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, changing the zoning classification of a certain property within the City of Renton, a portion of parcel number 24733600270, from residential 8 dwelling units per acre, R8, to residential 1 dwelling unit per acre, R1. File number LUA 16000805, CPA 2017-M-01.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be adopted as read and requires a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McIrvin?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it.
Okay, the second to last ordinance for final reading and adoption is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, adopting the 2017 amendments to the city's 2015 comprehensive plan, maps, and data in conjunction therewith.
Oh, Mr.
Sorry.
Mayor, I was waiting for you to finish.
I know.
Move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be adopted as read and it requires a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McIrvin?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it.
Okay, the final ordinance for second reading and adoption is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsection 4-2-060.g and section 4-11-030 of the Renton Municipal Code prohibiting community health engagement locations in Renton, adding a definition for community health engagement location, CHEL, and providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be adopted as read. And as a reminder, this bans injection sites in Renton. And so if anybody has any question, any discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have to have a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McIrvin?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Now it passes. Thanks, Megan. Good job.
Yeah, well done.
Moving on to new business, Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a few meetings to announce and unannounce. On December 18th, there will be no council. It's council holiday. On Monday, December 25th, no meeting. It will be Christmas holiday. On January 1st, no meeting. It's New Year's Day holiday. We'll be back to work on January 8th. Committee of the Whole will meet at 5:30 in council chambers. There's one item. It's the Downtown Civic Core Plan Final Review. And then at 6:30, there will be a swearing-in reception, and that will be in the conference center. And I'd also like to think, since this is the last meeting of the year, I'd like to say that it was an honor serving as council president this year. I appreciate the support of my colleagues and look forward to another great year. And I think I'm handing it off to Ed Prince. I'm sure we'll do a fantastic job. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Perez?
No new business. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. McIrvin?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, no meetings to announce, but I just want to echo the sentiments of our council president. It's been a great first 2 years. Thank you to everyone for guiding me along the way, and thank you to staff as well. Look forward to the next 2 years since I'm halfway through my first term here now. So, and since we didn't have an administrative report, I do want to announce Polar Bear Plunge, January 1st, since we won't have a meeting. So I'll be there. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Mr. McIrvin. And everyone else needs to be there. Mr. Person?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. First thing I want to announce, I will not be at the Polar.
Well, we're very disappointed to hear.
Oh, you're most likely happy I'm not.
No, we were looking forward.
On January 8th, Monday, 5 p.m., the Finance Committee will meet, and we'll have vouchers and emerging issues and revenue streams, and that's going to be another big voucher run, so be ready.
Okay.
That's
Thank
all,
you.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Prince?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, as Council President Pavoni said, it is the last meeting of the year, and we have a token of our appreciation for the job he's done as Council President. Here you go, sir.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Corman?
Just announcing that Public Safety Committee meeting, which would have normally been held on January 8th, 2018, has been canceled.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I just want to say as from the administration's point of view, it's been great working with you this past year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your dedication and all of the help that you provided to us. Look forward to working with Ed this next year. What's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We've got 5 moves. So move by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Pavoni, that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes opposed? The ayes have it. We don't need a roll call, do we? Okay.